So here we go. Here's the CRROW777 footage. We're going to do them in the order they were filmed. And again, my footage falls before or after equinoxes. This is the Holy Grail footage. If I had not shot this particular footage, all footage would have been dismissible by those who want to argue against this being a real event. Just the camera pan and the way that it was shot allowed me to know that it was an actual event, and it allowed me to use a measuring stick against all other footage that I saw, where there was no doubt in my mind that we're looking at something that has gone unreported by NASA, which is not surprising. So here it comes at the bottom. The wave comes in, it goes out of frame, and then catches up to the camera, which has always meant this was never an equipment failure, not to mention that it's an organic wave and digital instruments don't fail that way. Just after the first wave begins, 4 seconds, there is a UFO shadow of some type that crosses the upper left limb. I wonder if that's some kind of a satellite device that is involved in this some way. Here's the second wave, filmed March 9th, 2014. On all my footage, I've been able to measure the angle of the wave, which I present you here. I don't know whether the other scopes were polar aligned or equatorially aligned, so I don't really have the ability to do that. And truthfully, they're also zoomed in, so it would be a bit difficult to understand the orientation of the moon, although I suppose we could look at a model for that night. Okay, here comes the wave. There's wave number 1. And there's the second wave. And this is one of the unusual filmings where the moon is not very near full on that. Here's wave, third wave, March 14, 2014. On a couple of these, and I've forgotten which they are, I would have to go through again, the waves look a bit different. They look a little more flat than every other filming that I've done, and that's on 2 of the clips. But you can determine that for yourself. And as you can see, after the 2012 filming, they became much more difficult to see, more clear, traveling more quickly. Okay, it's going to come in from the top, and I'll cue you right when it's going to start. I have a marker down on this one. Okay, and it's getting ready to come in from the top here. And there's the first wave. And you can see it bowing around the moon. Much clearer and quicker wave. Here's the fourth wave that I filmed on March 14, 2014. Now you notice the look of the moon changes a bit, and that is due to the way I am filming and how much light is on the moon, whether I'm using my city light filter. There's a few things. So some of them have kind of a more blue look, which indicates I'm using the city light filter because there's a need for that on that particular night. All right, I have a marker down on this one as well, and I'll indicate when the wave is going to come in from the top. And here it comes. There's the first wave from the upper left, and there's the second wave, and that is much quicker and much clearer than if you compare that to the previous waves or even the 2012 footage. Now this next one is kind of a special wave to me. It was very difficult to see. 4 of us were looking at the monitor because we were filming the eclipse on this night, April 14, 2014. These waves occurred as the eclipse was beginning in earnest. I may do more work on the eclipses because I think they're manipulated. I have some evidence that shows this in past clips, but when I filmed the last solar eclipse, I really saw some things that got me thinking. And here it comes from the top. There's the first wave coming from the upper right. There it goes down off the bottom. Here comes the second one, passing the equator, down to the lower left. It's a very subtle wave, and as I indicated, there was an eclipse going on as this happened. All right, the 2012 footage, which we're going to go over here, is the most important footage I've ever shot, and just because of the way this footage was shot, it allowed me to understand, after I figured it out, that this is a filmed event. Look at the bottom, and I'm going to run with some filters first to show, the prominence of the wave over the face so that you can see the curvature. And then I'm going to break this out so that you can see the energy pulse that happens on the lower left limb of the moon just as the wave is about to begin. And bear in mind, 4 seconds after the first wave, an object goes up the upper left limb. So here we go down to the bottom left to see the pulse that occurs. There's backwards and forwards, and you can see the curvature of the pulse that happens, the energy pulse. Now as it goes up a little, you're going to see a sweep across the face of the moon. There it is backwards. It goes from left to right. You can see just kind of an energy sweep occur. All right, here we go again. And you can see the energy sweep. And then the wave starts up. And you can completely measure the bow of this going around the sphere. It's a measurable thing. And if you consider that each pixel has a value in distance, it's probably quite a bow. The problem is I don't know what the distance of the moon is, and I have a feeling it's much closer than we've been told. But saying that and proving that are two different things. The grid overlay matches the tilt of the wave from our point of view. Here's at 150% with the grid layover to indicate the angle from our point of view of the wave traveling over the lunar surface, if there is such a thing. Here we go at 100%. This is real time, real speed. There's a slight contrast manipulation here. So, I mean, we're in a new era here. Where are the space agencies? If I know this and all these other people have filmed it, this is a known thing, and that's all there is to it. This is something that's being hidden. You know, so many people have come and seen this since 2012, and they're from all walks of life, professionals. I've even been contacted by 4 people from observatories who have told me that they are directed at the observatories they are currently or have worked at in the past not to look at the moon unless they are directed to do so. Right here I'm showing that the wave goes out of frame, then catches up to the camera. This has always been proof that it's a filmed event. Even though I showed this, people have, badgered me nonstop and ignored this evidence. But it means what it means. There it is. There it is, catching up to the camera. That has always been bulletproof evidence that I knew and understood that this was a real event. And I stuck to my guns, and now we have confirmation on a level that's just not easily dismissible.